Alright, guys. So I hope that this stream is running properly because I have breaking news. So we are 7 days out from election night. I sort of can't believe that I'm saying this right now because I've sort of been looking forward to it all year. So my audio system's a bit glitched, so I don't know how to properly have audio picking up properly. So a bit of technical difficulty in that sort of field. So yes, we are just 7 days out from election night. It's sort of surreal. I'm just I'm sort of bouncing off the walls, waiting. I got the bipartisan wings and stuff from Pizza, which was fun, I think. So we are just waiting for the polls to close on November 5th. Now, a lot of advance voting has already begun. So, some of the so about between probably around 30% of the votes have already been cast, but the final week, it's like the final running stretch. Most states have advance polling open until Thursday, the 31st. So Halloween night of 2024 is the last day of advance voting, and then on November 5th, which is the next Tuesday, 7 days from today, will be the last day of voting. Now, some of these states, though, such as Arizona and Michigan, likely will not be reporting the election results until around probably the 17th or 18th of November, because there's so many ballots and it comes this close. It comes down to the wire. Sometimes within 2 or 3 thousand votes in states of millions of people that will actually decide if the electoral votes of that state, get assigned to which candidate. Plus, there's the whole thing with faithless electors, so we don't know if faithless electors could cause there not to be a majority in this election. In that case, it would go to the House of Representatives, which will likely be Republican controlled. But, as well, it's not all 435 people in the House of Representatives have an equal say. The federal members of the House of Representatives from each state will discuss together and cast one vote for each state. So technically, California and Iowa have the equal voting power if the Electoral College comes down to the wire with the Congress, with the regular House of Representatives. And if they can't determine by the 20th of January, then Mike Johnson, if he remains Speaker of the House, will become acting president until they can find another candidate. And there's this whole civil war fear, civil unrest, which could begin as well, especially if any political motivated assassinations occur. So, lots of breaking news with this election. I'm actually just pulling up some information. So apparently 43 million, according to Race Report. That sounds kind of a weird name for a account, but according to some sources, about 40 million votes have been already received, but they haven't started counting them yet, and the polls won't even close until the 5th. But there has been millions, tens of millions out of the 200 million votes that are cast. About at least 30% probably of them have already been voted. So it seems to be a bit late for any October surprises, which is basically where something major, some major breaking news or some sort of scandal gets revealed on the final month before the election night. So that's currently where we're at, what we're working with. So, as well, comment down below your statements. Speak now or forever hold your silence. So I'm reading the chats.
There's no turning back. Are you willing to take this to the very end? 100%. Sure. What's going on? You can tell me anything. I just found out. I can't believe it. Daniel has been arrested. I didn't know things had gotten to that point. It's all over the news. I just do not believe that Daniel would kill Heather or anyone else for that matter. The DA must believe that the police found enough evidence.
So, guys, Donald Trump or Kamala Harris? That's what I'm putting as a poll.
I'm sure he wouldn't let it get this far if he didn't think so too. Well, I'm sure he'd be very careful before he arrested somebody.
See, the funny thing is that when I type Kamala the way I do, Kamala, which is the way that they say it, it thinks I'm spelling it wrong.
And the argument became physical. Maybe it got out of hand. Okay, well, if that's the case, if it was an accident, why not just come out and tell the police that?
None.
Instead of coming up with this elaborate cover-up that's just going to make everything worse. You have to trust the legal process.
So, all win measure.
He did everything he could to avoid admitting his involvement in what happened. He was just a frightened, reckless kid who didn't want to face the consequences.
So,
He's not that person anymore.
I just set up the polling.
If Daniel had any
Who
involvement
do you think will win? I want to hear from you.
You want to tell me something you couldn't tell my father? I have been keeping this secret for so long, it just feels impossible.
As well, if you think that there's anyone else that will win, comment.
What Nathan never knew is after the last time I saw him, I found out I was pregnant. And my dad was the father. Is that what you're trying to tell me? Yes. And you never told him? I had already found another man. We were already in love. Did you tell this man you were pregnant with another man's child? I wanted to. And I tried a few times.
So yeah, comment in the chat.
I let him believe that the baby was his. So you carried it to term? Truthfully. I have a brother. Which means I have a half brother. Well, what do we have?
So who do you think is winning the Electoral College? We don't know yet, but like I mentioned earlier, we will likely not know until around like the 17th, at least the week of the 17th of November, who will win the Electoral College, which basically decides the vote, because they don't use a regular popular vote, so each state gets a certain number of electoral votes assigned for every Congress member there is, plus every senator. So there's 2 senators mandatory in each state and at least 1 Congress member. And as well, DC has no senators or Congress members, but they Congress representatives, but they have special electoral electoral things assigned to them. So basically, if it really comes down to the wire, it will likely not have anybody win the majority of the electoral votes. So it's going to be able to be decided by the House of Representatives for the second time in American history. So in like over 250 years of American history, it's only happened once that it's come down to the House of Representatives that decide who to vote for. And as well, there's the whole thing with faithless electors, which we'll get into later in this stream or maybe tomorrow. Because faithless electors are very interesting because they usually don't flip the election, but they can have some weird results, like Spotted Eagle won an electoral vote, making her the first Native American to win an electoral college vote. And it happened in 2016. So I'm gonna keep giving you guys more updates. So, who do you think is gonna win? Vote in the poll that I put down below. So currently, there is no. So I'm gonna look up. I'm gonna look up some information. So, who do you think is gonna win? Because this is the. It's not gonna happen until 2028 when there's a presidential election. So, look, states they set they have state control basically. So, the U.S. Constitution sets certain parameters or perimeters for federal elections, but state law regulates a lot amount, a lot of it, probably the majority, most aspects of the elections, including the primary elections, voter eligibility, and the method of choosing presidential electors. So, yeah. And each state has a certain number of electors based on its population. And the candidate who wins the majority of electoral votes becomes the president. But election day, the general election for president, is held on the first Tuesday after the first Monday in November, and a newly elected president is inaugurated on January 20th of the following year. So, faithless electors are members of the U.S. Electoral College who do not vote for their party's nominee for president or vice president despite being pledged to do so. This can happen for various reasons, such as personal beliefs or political strategy. The consequences for faithless electors vary state by state, with some states imposing penalties or voiding the votes. Historically, though, faithless electors have never changed the outcome of a presidential election, because back in the 1836 election, Virginia's entire electoral delegation abstained from voting for the Democratic vice presidential nominee, causing the vice presidential race to be decided by the U.S. Senate. So, if they don't get the votes that they want for the Senate, for the vice president, it can also go down to the Senate. Really go up to the Senate. it's a fascinating aspect though of the U.S. election system. It highlights the complexities, sort of, and it can be very unpredictable in the electoral college. So so if it goes down to the Senate, so just vote, register to vote. Do what if you live in the United States, do what moves you. If you live in the United States, just do what moves you. If you don't, if you're not sure how to vote, just don't vote in a way that you'll regret. Please don't, because that happens. I don't know why I'm getting chills. It's a important time. We're in a culturally significant time. It's gonna be like how people will look back on 2020 and how people right now look back on 2016 and stuff, or years like 2016 or 2009. This is a big year, and the next years just it'll be times that we'll look back on. Maybe the grass was greener. Interesting things happen in Canada. For example, our towns currently are really revamping this year. So like lifestyles change and things just change sort of. So it's sort of metamorphosizing what's happening. All right. So the first vote came in. Who do you think will win the 2024 electoral college vote for president? We now have one vote in for Donald Trump. So one person in the polling has now voted for Donald. So as well in Canada, Pierre Pollievre may now team up with the Bloc to basically defeat Trudeau. So it's important. So now we're going to talk about the election now in Canada. This could get kind of interesting. So Polyev is a threat to Trudeau because, as well, Trudeau in the polls, he is down to like 18% of approval in Canada. 45% of Canadians want Polyev. As well, the Bloc also has a bit of a grasp on the election because they're sort of like a pro separatist or semi independence sect of politics in Canada. So they, for example, think that Quebec should be considered a distinct society and be given certain immunities and powers. So yes, Pierre Polyev and the Bloc will likely team up. So yes, Pierre Polyev could take down Pierre Polyev and the Bloc may bring down Trudeau. So we're now going to be talking about the Canadian election. So will Polyev be the next prime minister? at least 90% chance as well. There's the reason why it's probably not like 100% chance is because there is a chance that if between now and like nearly a full year away from now, things could change significantly if there isn't an early election called. So the landscape, although it seems like it can't go back, there's a chance that will at least partially roll backwards closer to Trudeau's favor, even though Polyev will likely win and maybe even win a majority government. There is a chance that won't be a very strong majority. Or it won't be a majority and he'll have to do some sort of coalition, perhaps with the Bloc Québécois. Or if the People's Party of Canada wins any seats in the national electorate. In the national parliament. Sorry. So who will win? Polyev or Trudeau? So yeah, Trudeau may get kicked out of office. So the current government has now missed the deadline that was given to them by the Bloc. Alright, so Bloc Québécois versus Trudeau. So that could seriously change a lot. It could seriously change a lot. Because the Bloc could be able to call for early elections very soon. So, once again, I'm looking forward to election night. I'm optimistic that Americans will make the right choice. I'll get out my calculator maybe. Sharon's under arrest! Oh, it's just a TV show. I hope I don't forget to turn on the microphone. Okay, she's not getting arrested. Anyhow, will Kanye run in 2024? We're going to be discussing that as well. I think there's a chance that Kanye could run in the next election. Well, actually, I'm gonna. So, we're now gonna be tallying the U.S. elections almost here. It's almost here. November 7th is gonna be election day in 2028. So some big stuff's gonna start happening pretty soon.
Well, look at this. It hasn't been 24 hours since you kicked me out of the house and
You know what? I'm actually gonna look up
the two of you having a drink. What, are you bonding over your mutual
till
disgust with me?
polls.
If so, I'm really glad I could help you reconcile.
Whether or not we are is no longer a concern of yours, and if it's awkward running into us like this, you can always leave town.
It's a good idea. Why don't you go back to living in LA?
So we're waiting
Back to being Taylor Jetson, since living a lie is all you know how to do.
for what's gonna happen.
Please tell me that you're not joining forces with Diane to go after.
So guys, there's no electoral results yet.
Darling, I was just curious to see how far she would go. Well, that excuse
All right.
didn't work before, and it's not working now. She claims that you own.
So 6 days and 23 hours
True or not, I can see that you're
out
tricks.
until
You think so? Do you?
election night.
Either you're egging her on so she will make a fool of herself, or you actually plan on helping her. Either way, I am not going to put up with it. I refuse to let you further your vendetta with Jeff.
All right, guys.
You know me long enough to know that no one dictates to me. I'll handle the damn thing.
Oh shoot, 6 days now.
You're right. I am looking for more than detective work. Before I called you, I did a little research. I know you were.
So the poll closures don't start until then.
The man that raised Damien was also a doctor. Interesting coincidence. Yeah. Damien was at all of Jack's.
6 days, 23 hours out. I can't wait for election. I'm going to be probably streaming from like 7 until like midnight.
To be alone, I was hoping maybe you could.
So vote, 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 vote.
Even be a mentor.
Let's go.
I know he's a little older than you, but you can fill a void. The hole left by his father. I mean,
I'm a big Kanye West fan, so I hope he runs in 2028. But as well, people used to think it was a joke when they were talking about Trump running. And then he ran, and then he became president, and I'm one of the most loved presidents since Reagan. So, we're still waiting to see what will happen. I'm still going to keep streaming until around 8. So, with the election results being imminent, the ski mask is coming out, alright? The ski mask is out. And there's nothing you can do about it. Polls close in 6 days and 23 hours. Once that clock hits 8, stream's over. But until then, we're going to be Sigmas. So, the counting of the time is a bit weird up there. So, as well, comment to that way down there, or to that way, to answer in the polls that I put up, that are public, where you can decide who you think is going to win the election. As well, a website by the name of DLive is doing polls on who's going to win the election. Can this be done, though? This has never been done. I don't think, with cryptocurrency betting on the election using web-free technology. As well, web-free technology is very important because web-free is the future of the internet.
I can't do this. I can't bring this way.
So yes, this is what's happening. We've seen a lot happening. This is probably one of the most memorable years in my life. 2024. It's a very significant year, and it started off going kind of fast, but in the past couple months, it's been slowing down. It's been lasting forever. It's always like the first 2 months of the year, and then the last like 3 months of the year that feel the longest. So this is gonna be feeling long for a long time. Getting off of this sus website, DLive. DLive. So yeah, that's the DLive election prediction results. So I'm gonna put I do not condone. Wait. It's not really betting, it's polls. It's polling. It's polling.
Well, it's already partly through. So wherever we are, I watched that part. Well, no, because it doesn't go to the.
But
I don't remember.
I'm looking forward to election night. No, I'm gonna read the chat just to make sure that nothing interesting has been said, because a lot of interesting stuff goes down in the chat, because that's where democracy is born, is in public forum and free speech. So, once again, people just need to make their voices heard on November 5th, or really by November 5th, because now it's no longer election day, it's election decade, it seems. So even though we're not American, because I'm in the second, third, fourth best probably country in the world, which is that of Canada. Canada's great. Free Canada. Get rid of Trudeau. No. um, but there's a lot happening. And I'm asking for your financial support. Bernie Sanders, let's go. No. So, free speech is probably going to be on the ballot. And Maine will be deciding if it's going to replace its state flag, which is look. In fact, I'm going to put this as breaking. I'm going to run this as breaking. Maine new flag. I can't run it on the screen for some reason. So in the name... Oh, you know what? Guys, Harris posted a Fortnite map. You know, I can't believe this. Oh, I can't believe this. So, I'm just gonna figure this out. So I'm gonna say Harris Wall's campaign Fortnite map. Oh, that's just a weird sentence. Harris Wall's campaign Fortnite map. Fortnite map. So that's the code to the Harris Walls campaign Fortnite map. So if you're a gamer and a sheeple, no, I'm just joking, not gonna say that word, cause I know what that makes me sound like. Talk about sheeple. I know it does make my IQ drop. You know, it's like new words you're learning in elementary school. S stands for sheeple. B stands for butt. E stands for election. F stands for fraud. No, I'm just joking. No election fraud. You know, we have to be cautious about election fraud. Dad, is this for me?
Yes, it's just something I didn't pour into my glass.
Alright, guys, it's club soda. Mmm. Wait.
No.
Wait, look.
Trump for president.
So yeah, we're about. So I'm so excited. Remember, A is apple. B is Bible. C is citrus. D is determination. E is election. F is fraud. G is God. H is Harris. I is information. J is joke. K is kilogram. L is lima bean. M is Minnesota. N is new car. O is occupation. P is personality. Q is question. R is revoke. S special. T Trump. U United. V Virginia. W is wrong. X is xenophobia. Y is yes. And Z is Zambia. X is xylophone. And Z is Zionist. I don't know why I went for like the alphabet there with words. That's the ABCs of the election, guys. Oh, by the way, no hate for Zionists. Do not hate them. Don't hate on them. It's the independence of Israel. That's probably on the ballot. They don't say it, but it's on the ballot. Depending on who you vote for president. So here's my 2 cents. If you think that if a certain candidate is sworn in, you'll be having tears of sadness as they get inaugurated, that I'd recommend for voting someone other than them. As well, if you're sending in an absentee ballot, not valet, not valet, not ballet, absentee ballot, if you are sending one in, it's probably almost too late to. I don't know what the rules are of absentee ballots. They might allow them to be casted later than regular in America ballots. But you have to be very careful because I've heard, I'm not sure exactly how it works, but there's a chance that your ballot can get thrown out if ink is incorrectly, if there's dots on the ballot that shouldn't be there or something. Or a weird pink or like a weird ink color could somehow make your ballot be questionable or whatever, or potentially fraudulent. So be vigilant. And look after your family. Love your neighbor. And just work together. And we need to unite at this time. And we don't know if Kanye West is running in 2028. Ye could run. Ye could run. I wouldn't doubt it, but he needs to get back into the public eye. He needs to get more into the public eye. He needs to become more popular. He needs to be sort of more, regain his star power. And as well, it will also depend on the political landscape at the time that he runs. He could run several years down the line, like multiple election seasons. It could not be until 2040 that we see Ye running. We don't know if maybe there will be a third party candidate that actually wins electoral votes by then. Or if he will run for one of the main parties, or if we see some sort of coalition party that wins electoral votes. So, that's the thing. Will Jill Stein win any electoral votes? I do not know. It likely will be faithless electors in a state like Michigan. In one of the swing states, there may be like 3 or 4 faithless electors that go for Jill Stein. So, I don't know about that. I don't even know if Cornel West is still running. I know that RFK is actually still on the ballot in Michigan and Georgia, I believe. It's sort of strange that RFK is still on the ballot, knowing that he's already suspended his campaigning. So, Ye could run in several election cycles from now. We do not know if Jill Stein will win any electoral votes. So I am actually gonna figure this out. So, there's Chase Oliver. I'm not sure about Chase Oliver's agenda and stuff like that. I don't have a degree in Chase Oliver. I don't know really who that is or what he does. If you have anything that you want to say about him or ask some questions, I'm willing to do my research. I do my homework. Believe me. Uh, so let's just figure this out together. So what the? So we have Cornel West, Jill Stein, Chase Oliver, and Claudia de la Cruz. Oh my word, what is going on the screen? So, Claudia, what is going on my screen? So, who are you voting? If you're willing to speak. Speak now or forever hold your silence. So vote for whatever your heart leads you to vote for. Oh, I just got some more polls. We have now a vote for Harris. So, once again, vote whatever you want to vote for because that's why people have the right to vote. Some people dispute the Electoral College. You know, we live in a place of public forums. We should be allowed to discuss this sort of civilly. And we should also keep in mind when you do argue against the Electoral College, it does prevent mob mentality. So let's say someone neglects people that live in Atlanta because all they need to do is become popular in LA, New York City, Chicago, and Detroit, and they win like at least 30% of the national vote. And then the person in Atlanta suffers because it, there is no fighting chance that they have. So that's my input on the situation. So it's like the current polls right now is what the poll I posted is. 50 to 50. The poll is tied. So this is a significant stream. We are living in a significant time. This is the year of significance. It's also the year of the dragon. So we have a couple more minutes. We're going until 8:10. So 3 more minutes or so. So as well, if you guys can get me really animated and jumping up and down, I will stay on longer. Because this type of stuff is sort of something that animates me, so please, entertain me, even though I should be the one entertaining you. It's like how if you elect someone to public office, it doesn't automatically mean that you are enslaving yourself to them. They are supposed to be there for a purpose and not making you have to be there for theirs when they're never there for yours. So, keep that in mind. It's around 8:08 p.m. now. So, keep fighting. Keep thinking. Keep thinking. That's something we need to keep on our minds for the election. Keep thinking. Seriously. Because that surface superpower that humans have been given is their superior brain power and abilities. We are here to think. We're not just puppets. I can't believe I have to say this as well. The track that the railroad of the United States is on. The U.S. isn't really a railroad. It's a entire shipyard. So, guys, this is the last minute of the stream. I going. This is the last chance you have to tell me something. So, we're just gonna summarize things. Yes, there's a chance that some third-party candidates may win a couple electoral votes. Yes, there's a chance that the electoral college can either be tied or not get a majority for either candidate. In that case, it would go down to the House. Yes, faithless electors could have a bit of a influence. And yes, we may have people like Kanye West. Not Cornel West. Yay, the rapper. One of the best rappers probably there's been in history. That's probably going to be very controversial. Probably more controversial on who someone's voting in this election. So, I thank you for tuning in. Like and subscribe if you enjoy, but don't really feel obligated to. And God bless you. God bless the USA.